What is it about momentum indicators that makes us so interested in doing it? Like I said before, you can't look at swing trading, I don't think, or short-term trend following without looking at momentum and vice versa. Well, one of the key reasons we're looking at momentum, of course, just to reiterate, is because we're looking for these turning points. We're looking at points where we can know, not just visually, whether the company is now going to go this way or this way. That's essentially it. But that's not all it is. Because sometimes people forget, actually, momentum is also about knowing whether, while a company is going down, for instance, and whether it's had a temporary stop here, whether we need to be worried at all. It helps us clarify our decision making. It helps us actually sleep better at night because we take a view that actually that's not something to worry about. From the momentum indicators we can see that it's likely to go lower, and henceforth we hold on. It also means that we save a lot of time. Why? Because when we're looking at prices on a particular day, or we're trying to look at Marks and Spencer's and we hear all the news about it or whatever, we can make a decision based on our analysis. Hey, I know what to do. I don't need to worry about the fundamentals or whatever. I know what to do. At any given point, I'm quite clear about what it is that I should do and should not do. And that's why we look at momentum. But there is another reason, again, going back to saving time, which is it's far easier to make an investment decision when you're looking at pictures rather than words. In other words, when you're looking at an indicator, than when you're reading reams and reams of analysis, financial research, reports, and the like. Those things take forever and a day. They usually end up meaning that you're spending weeks upon weeks analyzing a company. And tell me, what are you going to do after you've spent weeks and weeks analyzing a company? Are you really going to turn around and say, actually, that's not what I want to invest in? Of course not. If you've invested so much of your time in researching a company, chances are you're going to feel you should take a view on it and make an investment. Whereas, because you don't have that time investment in research when it comes to technical analysis or looking at momentum indicators where you can move from one stock to the next relatively shortly, you can be more objective in your investment decision criteria. And that objectivity leads me to the other important point that we, getting into the minds of professional traders, must understand. Why momentum? Well, because it gives us an objective measure, a measure which not depends upon our emotions or our interpretation of what analysts and journalists are telling us, or even accountants are telling us. It gives us a more objective measure on which way the stock is going. And that objectivity means that we've got greater clarity, we know what we're doing, we can move faster, and should lead to better investment decisions, therefore hopefully make more money. Remember the three rules. We're either here to make money, or save time. So, why else momentum? Well, let me tell you, there's a hell of a lot of indicators out there. There are things like this. Look at these circular pools here, which are related to Gann waves, and they look from an individual point to see at what points you might get share price moves. And then you've got things like this, which do all of this. This is not related to momentum, by the way, thankfully. And you've got all this to measure what kind of retracements you might get. So these things are looking for how far something might move across what time periods, when it might be about to turn according to certain time periods, and so on and so forth and so on and so forth. This can get really complicated. However, with momentum indicators, I reckon you've got something like the MACD, the stochastic, the RSI, which is a lot more straightforward to interpret. Is a bit less open to interpretation than something like this, where should you get the timing slightly wrong, you could be out by a few days, months, whatever. Whereas these types of indicators, in my view, are a lot more accurate and better to understand, easier to understand than virtually any other type of indicator. And that's one of the other reasons why we say momentum.